Hello there. I'm continuing my analysis of the over-the-board tournament I recently played. So we are now in the round 6. And just as introduction, in the round 6 I'm facing a 50-year-old player who is playing his first tournament. In fact, my guess is that he came to play this tournament because his son is also playing tournament. His son is like 12 or something. I played against his son in the previous tournament in Sholta, and I won the game. So it's his father here revenging his son. And this is a kind of player which, if I can guess, he probably plays chess in one way or another all his life, but he never got really seriously into it. He never considered, joining the club, going to tournaments, and so on. But since now his son is playing, and he's probably made some friends in the chess club, so he decided to give it a try. Very interesting player, player who knows how to play chess, not a typical club player, not a typical improver who reads books and trains, but nevertheless a strong player and unpleasant one to play against. And you will see in this game he did make several strategical mistakes, which led me to having a much better position, even a completely winning position at several occasions, but somehow I just missed all the opportunities. And also, this game was one of the most difficult games I have ever played. It was really exhausting experience because you'll see the attack and all the tension was so tense that I barely had any time to get up. I just went quickly to the bathroom a few times, and all the times I was sitting at the board, very focused, trying to calculate, trying to keep the initiative, to keep the attack, as you will see. And the game lasted for more than 4 hours, almost 4.5 hours. So we were last playing in the hall. So in the last few moves, there were like 20 people watching and so on. Okay, this is just for the introduction. Now let me show you the game. So I opened with e4, so just my usual stuff. e5. I'm continuing with normal developing moves here. So knight f3. Knight c6 is coming. I'm going for the Italian bishop c4, and he goes knight f6. So now there are several ways to continue. So one is to go on the try to the fried liver attack, immediately aiming for the f7, which is good and fun in blitz, but in the long game I really don't want to play this, especially since there are several good refutations of this. So I just played conservatively d3, protecting the pawn. The pawn was attacked. He played h6, so a passive move, but not a bad move. He's preventing me from pinning him forever here. So I just castled. He now developed his bishop c5, and I played c3. And now you can see that yeah, we transposed to typical this Italian structure, Jacobianissimo structure. He played d6. I developed my knight, so all normal moves here, nothing much to comment. a6. So this is kind of, strategically incorrect moves, which my opponent made from time to time, but they really didn't matter because I'm not good enough to. I mean, I know it's not a good move. I mean, he played h6, now he plays a6, so yeah, it's a waste of time and so forth. But I'm not good enough to know how to exploit this. So I just continue my normal development. So I attack my bishop back to b3, just to prevent him to attack my bishop here. So I have safe place for my bishop. Queen to e7. Okay. Developing queen. Although I don't know why didn't he develop the bishop here. This is probably what I would do. And now I'm the one who is playing inaccurate moves. So I was thinking, yeah, he didn't play this bishop, so he might. I might just stop here to play it for good. h3. So a slow move. Rook e1 would be more active and better. Okay, now he developed his bishop to e6. Okay, I'm okay with this exchange. I will probably take with the pawn and activate my rook. And also I don't mind keeping this tension. It's okay. So now I play rook to e1, and he castled long. And I think this is a mistake for several reasons. First of all, I mean, if you go back, why not castle short here? The king is protected enough. So no reason to play short. If you played long, the problem is, with castle long, the problem is this pawn. So the problem is that he's giving me a hook, and I can exploit this hook in order to attack. So from this point on, we have opposite side castling. So let's just make ourselves aware of how to handle this position. In this kind of position, each side wants to attack the other side. The correct way of play is to try to be quicker, to try to make your attack quicker than your opponent's attack. And this is the only correct way to play this position. The incorrect way to play this position, and I think he made this mistake here, is to try to defend. So here I will be starting the attack on the queen side, and he should be starting the attack on the king side. And he should put all his pieces, and forces on the king side, trying to be quicker and more efficient in the attack, and I'm doing vice versa on the queen side. And whoever is quicker will usually win the game. So I think here I have a certain advantage. I could be quicker because, well, he has a hook. My pawn is already advanced, so I might be quicker. If you look at my position, yeah, I also do have a hook, and yeah, his pawn is advanced, so it could be very very tense. But somehow I think that it's just my feeling that I will be more faster here to bring my forces on the queen side and to start the attack. Anyway, this is how this position should be handled. And he didn't handle it like this. He did the opposite thing. He one moment you'll see he moved to the defense, and this gave me a winning position, a winning opportunity, which I didn't seize. But that's another story. So here I played bishop to a4. I want to push my b pawn forward and attack this hook. So this is the idea. He played g5. So far so good. So this is correct way to play. So I do something on the queen side, he does something on the king side. We'll see who is quicker. Okay, and now I saw the opportunity. Okay, I can open this this file, and I was thinking about how to do this. So yeah, if I take the knight, the file is semi-open, and then I can maybe even sacrifice the pawn and get my rook and have the attack. So the engine doesn't really like this. The engine thinks I should be striking the center or something. But okay, I think it's consistent. It's how it should be played. Maybe technique is not the best, but I'm satisfied. So I took the knight, he took. Okay, now I have this semi-open file. So how to get rid of this pawn to open the file? This is the question. So first off, I brought my queen in. So you can see that I'm the one now having the initiative. Now hitting both of these pawns. He has to defend them. So he played king to b7. And now I'm still thinking about how to open the B file. So if I go to the pawn here, you know he has 2 pawns. So it's not. It will not have the effect which I want to have. So this is why I saw this move, and I played it knight to c4, thinking that first of all I'm making a threat here, so he has to do something. If he takes, I will take with the pawn. And now I can open the file, and this is what happened. And I think it's a fine plan. I mean, yeah, engine thinks there are some better ways to play this, but I think it's fine. So bishop takes c4, and now I don't take with the queen, but I take with my pawn. Why? Because this is coming, and then I will finally open the position here. And this is the moment in which he adopted the wrong mentality. So instead of, I don't know if this is possible, but I'm just talking about general approach. So he should be thinking about how to continue. Now finally, okay, he doesn't have my initiative is over. He has some space to do stuff. Until now, there are only forcing moves played. So he should be thinking about how to push the pawn, how to come with the knight here, how to maybe bring the rook here, or so on. So he should be thinking about making the initiative on the king side. Instead, he played defensively, and he brought his knight to the defense. So if you look at my king side, I have a defender, and I really don't have to worry about the king side attack. So I continued with my plan, b4. He had to retreat. He played bishop to b6, and now the whole idea is to play b5. And now you can see that, yeah, my pawn is supported, so I can open this. He brought his knight to c5. So now hitting my queen. But okay, I can still continue with my attack because I can take either this pawn or this pawn with check. So I took this guy with check, and he took the knight. And remember, this knight will be here for the rest of the game, and this bishop also. So this knight and this bishop will have no effect in the game until the very end. So this is why going into defense is not a good idea in this kind of positions, because your pieces will just be fixed, stuck like in the cement, you know, to defend the position, and I have all other happy pieces which can go to the attack. Okay, so now I'm bringing another force, bishop to e3, now hitting the bishop. So now if he wants to take my bishop, he's welcome to do this. I will just recapture with the rook or the pawn, it doesn't matter. He'll have one defender less, and I have this beautiful open file. So he didn't take, instead he played a c5, thinking that he will now bring my bishop out of play, which is I think a good idea, although it fails to some tactical opportunities. Okay, the best move according to the engine is queen b3 here, and then just doubling and making a lot of pressure. I did similar thing, but yeah, I gave him one tempo. So I played queen to b5 here, and thinking that I will double, but now I gave him one tempo and he played queen to d7. So this is why, I mean, in these kind of positions, tempo is everything. So if I have played bishop b3, it looks like almost the same thing. I mean, the same idea. The idea is just to double here and to make pressure. But now he has to do something about it. He cannot just use the tempo to improve his position. And here, when I play the bishop to b5, he has bishop to queen to d7, which makes a threat. I don't want to exchange queens because then all of my advantage is gone. And also he's activating his queen. So I allowed him to improve his position. So this kind of small inaccuracies, which I don't have skill to play correctly, but okay, this is not what decided the game. So now I came back to b3, and he now played g4, which is correct. So this is how he should play. He should attack me on the other side, but fortunately it's now too late because two of his pieces don't participate in the game. So he cannot actually make any real threat as long as I'm careful. So yeah, he's attacking my knight. I move my knight here. He took the pawn, and now you can see this diagonal, but you can also see this very nice square, which is now an outpost. He doesn't have any pawns here. So I played knight to f5, closing this diagonal, and now my knight is improved, and also my knight is a little bit closer to his king, which I want all my pieces to be on his king side. Here he played h takes g2. He was a little bit greedy, but okay, I think it's still a good mentality to try to do something on the king side, not focus on the defense. Okay, but now the ball is once again in my court, so yeah, he did his stuff, and now it's my turn. So I put the rook here, opening, making pressure. Engine thinks this is an error. In fact, I saw this later also. There is no reason why not to start to play a5, a4 and threatening a5 and winning the bishop. So this a4 is now unstoppable threat. I saw this in the game, but somehow I thought that he could get away with this. So I should have played a4 right away. Okay, but instead I played this. And now again you will see this defensive mentality. So instead of trying to create some initiative, he plays rook to a8. So he's completely defending. So this rook is now not a very active and very good piece. Okay, I'm improving my position more. So rook e to d1. Now you can see that I'm aligning with the queen, and also I make some threats here. So for example, if I take this pawn, he cannot take back because I will win the bishop with probably mating attack. He kind of saw this and he played bishop. He kind of, I think he saw this threat, and then he played queen to e6. And I have to admit that during the game this move made a lot of sense to me, but now it doesn't so much. Okay, he got away from this alignment, making a queen a little bit closer here, maybe to do some stuff. Okay, it makes sense. Anyway, this is the first winning opportunity which I missed. So I saw that I can take this pawn, and he cannot take back, because if he takes with the queen, he will lose the queen. If he takes with the pawn, then he will lose the bishop. So I was focused on this knight takes. I was so focused on this because I thought, wow, this will be great. My knight will give a check, and I will be closer to his king with my piece. And I didn't even consider the other possibility, the other capture, which is in fact winning, winning on the spot. And the winning move, which I didn't see, is rook takes d6. So not knight. I mean, this is you know, common psychology. So you want to give a check. So this gives a check. So wow, I'm taking a pawn and giving a check. This must be the best move on the board. But in fact, it's not. So this is the best move, hitting the queen and hitting this bishop. And after he moves the, if he moves the queen, it's just check, check, and you can see it's over pretty soon. Okay. So the best, according to the engine, the best move here is to give away the queen. I mean, so strong an attack, attacking. If he takes again, I have just this, and he cannot survive this. I mean, I have a bishop, I have the knight, I have two heavy pieces. It's impossible to survive. Okay, but I didn't even consider this move, so I play knight takes d6, which is a okay move. I still have a huge advantage, but it's not winning on the spot. So knight takes d6 check, and now he played king to a7, retreating with the king. And now I was a little bit concerned by, you know, this check, this mate in 2. So I was thinking how to stop this, and the best way is to bring the knight here. And I saw this, so just blocking the diagonal. But first of all, I was a little bit afraid, because yeah, if this knight ever leaves this f5, I'll get checkmated. This is one thing. And another thing is, still I wanted to have my knight somehow close to king, you know. Okay, I have this check maybe here, maybe this check. So I wanted to keep this knight closer. I also thought that since my position is obviously much better, that he would maybe like to give me a perpetual to go into draw. So I calculated briefly, if I take this pawn, can he give me a check? And so this was my calculation. I did take the pawn, and I thought, okay, if he tries check, I can go here, and then block with this pawn and bring my bishop here. And this is what will happen later in the game. So before I calculated, can I avoid perpetual checks? And I do. So by bringing the king here, pawn here, bishop here, and I'm completely surrounded by my pieces, and he cannot check me anymore. So I took this pawn, so I don't have any worries. I wasn't worried about this as well. I can do the same maneuver. And here he did play queen to g4 check, but I calculated this. I wasn't afraid. So king to f1, and now here he played king h to d8. I guess wanting to have some counterplay here, because as you can maybe notice, this rook is attacked. I mean, if this knight wasn't here, this rook will be attacked twice. So maybe, yeah, it's defended twice as well. But maybe if this queen was to go somewhere, then maybe this could be an issue. So okay, he's trying to have some initiative. But now, okay, I saw this, I calculated a little bit. He still cannot take this, because I will just take this to checkmate. He cannot take with the rook, because then I will take the rook, and then I will take the bishop with the checkmate. So I calculated all this, and I played a4. So now finally going for the bishop. He played the rook a to b8. Now again, trying to maybe distract my queen from defending the rook, and maybe do some threats here. I mean, there are lots of stuff to calculate here. So this is why I told you this game went for more than 4 hours. I was all the time sitting at the board, sweating, calculating, just variations upon variations. It was very difficult to keep all these parameters on the board. I mean, I have to keep track of the stuff like this. I mean, he has this, for example, counterplay. this king is so. I mean, there are so many things happening on the board that in order to keep all that in mind, you need to be really focused. So here I saw this nice check, so I played knight to b5 check. He went back to a8, and I just continued with a5. So you can see that he cannot take. No, he can take, but then I will just bring my queen here, and then both of his pieces are hanging. This was, yeah, so if he takes, I just bring my queen here. And I still keep an eye on this. So you can see that now this becomes suddenly an issue. So I need to keep track of all this stuff. Here he didn't know how to continue, so he tried this perpetual, but like I said, I saw this before. So king h3, I attack my king here, he tried check here, I blocked, he tried check here, I blocked. So this is what I saw before. And although this kind of looks scary because my king is, you know, attacked from all sides, this is very solid. And I don't think to be afraid of anything. So now he took this pawn, and I play queen to a4. You can see that also now my king is defending the rook, so I'm not even afraid if this queen doesn't protect this rook anymore. And yeah, now this is hanging. This is checkmate. So this is completely lost. And he did one last effort. He took the rook. Okay. So in this position, all I had to do is not complicate things. Just so this is what I needed to do. I just needed to take the rook back, and these pieces are hanging. If he moves the bishop, I will just take the knight with checkmate. If he doesn't, I will just take the bishop and probably the knight, and probably this is coming, and probably this is coming, check. So it's over. So just simple recapture, chess 101. If he takes the piece, you take back, and over. Game over. It's actually, the evaluation is like plus 28, and if you run it a little bit more, it's like mate in a 9 or something. So completely winning. But instead I decided to play one cute in between move, because I thought it was it is very clever. So I thought, oh, why not give a check here? He has to move here. I can come back, give a check. He has to go back, and then I can take the rook. So this is what I calculated. Check, check, and now I take the rook, and now I can come with rook here and deliver checkmate. Okay, so keep in mind that this was after more than 4 hours, so I was not really thinking clearly. So yeah, I went, instead of just simply winning the game, I went for this check. He went here, I went like check. I thought, okay, he will come back, but now all of a sudden he took the knight. Completely missed the move. And now he's just a piece up. You know, his king is protecting the knight, the rook is protecting the bishop. If I take the rook, he will take the rook, and he'll just be a piece up. He just won my knight here. So yeah, I took the rook, he took the rook, and I took the rook, and you can see he's a piece up, now winning the game. So from the position in which I was completely winning for the most of the game, to just being pieced down and losing the game. So okay, this set game continued. He took my pawn. I tried to deliver some kind of perpetual check, but I cannot do this. I mean, he has the knight, he has the bishop, he has all these pawns, so it's impossible to do it. But I tried it nevertheless. He played this bishop to d4. So now, yeah, so now I'm getting checkmated very soon. I'll just go quickly. I tried perpetual, but no, I checked this with the engine. I didn't have perpetual in any case. Okay, I came here, so I saw, okay, I will not have perpetual, because after this check he goes here and I cannot check anymore. So, but what can I do? I can at least stop him from checkmating me here, so I play this. He took, I took, okay, I saved my bishop, but still he's 2 pieces up. He's 1 piece up, 2 pieces against my 1 piece. So I tried, maybe I was hoping maybe I can somehow exchange pawns, give up my bishop for one of his pawns, and then he'll have to checkmate me with bishop and knight. So this is a usual strategy when you are in such desperate positions. Maybe you can exchange these pawns and then sacrifice your bishop for the last pawn, and then, well, it's a question, is he able to deliver checkmate with bishop and knight? It's not easy thing to do. It takes like, sometimes it takes like 30 moves, and he has to do it under 50 moves, because after 50 moves it will be stalemate, and especially after 4.5 hours, you have some chances, good chances to draw. Yeah, but here I couldn't even succeed in this. I tried, but I failed. Yeah, and this was a game over. So, like I said, a very, very exhausting game. I was really exhausted after the game. He was like, my head is going to explode. I cannot think anymore. I cannot see anything. I cannot, it's really, for both of us, it was really tense, really exhausting experience. I mean, at least he won. So yeah, he had this reward after this, and I managed to blow up completely winning position. So you can only imagine how I felt. Okay, anyway, this is the end of the round 6, heading towards round 7. I will analyze the game like always, and see you soon with more chess. Cheers.